of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
Coming back, Messenger, Brother Fat Kid, getting back to this conversation about the path, submission, the simplicity of the religion, L is so amazing, man. I think about Abraham. He had either him and his wife Sarah at the time, childless, barrenless, and at the age of 75, Ahezaah took him on this journey because his following and his people were worshiping idols. And he said, I can't worship these things of wood and stone. I got to find this Lord, or if this is not the Lord, then I must go out on a journey. Now, he's a man of a we call it senior age now. But at that time...
Oh, he would not, you can't compare. They didn't have pollution and all that.
I was
saying... He kicked the little boy's butt.
I want to say, that's what I'm talking about, yeah. I was looking at the number. He went out seeking, and he went through the sign of the sun and the moon and the star, all these things of that we talked about earlier about how the scientists now, what holds this creation is the guide and the preserving everything of it. And how he said, I worship that which created all these things. Once I recognize the sun set, the moon set, all these things, then they can't be the Lord, the supreme existence. And I worship that which created all these things. And then coming to the truth of El and bringing it back to his father, Dad, I found what was the creator of all these things. And then at that point, his father said, well, you may have to separate now from me because we're going to stick to what we know. Right. And Allah says what? You didn't follow the ways of their forefathers, though they are in error. So Abraham and his family took up. And Ahezaah guided him. And he's the one that Ahezaah called as the progeny that who's one of the early ones who came into the realization that Allah is one. And he prayed to Allah that his descendants carry this same truth on as they grow. Yes. We know that he begot Isaac. Isaac begot Jacob, and the 12 come through that line. And those come through them. But it wasn't so much the journey that Allah gave, but how Allah showed them all of his signs of creation and how simple Isaac manifested to Abraham that, lo, I'm here.
Idris, you phrasing it, we read where Abraham says, look what I found. But we know we're given even more clarity today than Ahezaah is present today when he said it's something that we just said something more clearly that what he was given. Ahezaah gave him an insight that, maybe others who may have pondered on it or partially on it was not at that present given. So that's the majesty and the bounty of Ahezaah being in command and in charge of all things. I just find that the great mercy, one thing and I mentioned the language, what was it translated like? Here we are, an indigenous people who speak the English language, or a modern day English language, a modern day urban English language. Right. And here it is, I was riding and I was in public transportation. It's an interesting experience being in public transportation.
It is.
Dialogue.
You do.
And then there were some people on the bus that were talking about religion. And they were actually trying to talk about it on a universal basis. And one gentleman, he was talking about some book that he had, and he was extolling, he was really praising the book, saying that the book was translated in Hebrew, Greek, and Aramaic. But listening, young Cosbeliga said, wow, the thing is, this urban American can't understand either one of those languages.
Can't understand
English.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's like the simplicity, the directness of Ahezaah, when it says in the Quran that I will send you a messenger, I will send every people a messenger, speaking in their language, something simple. I mean, how do you get around that? Yeah. If you sit back and say, it would take you a lifetime to learn Hebrew, to the level of a 7-year-old Hebrew child. Yeah. It would take you a lifetime to learn Arabic to the level of a child in Arab, naturally speaking. How you going to do that lifetime now is a religion of chasing the skill,
Well, I'll tell you like this here, I'm still learning Islam.
Oh, yeah.
I'm enlightened. I'm basically in the lap of the Lord, and I'm still learning. You never stop learning. You know, what was clear to me yesterday or yesteryear is clearer today.
Yeah.
It has more meaning because I'm still growing. So why should I want to get, you know, I try to learn Arabic for one reason.
Right.
And that is so that I could understand what Allah was saying through Prophet Muhammad.
Okay.
That's the only reason. Not that to worship that, because I know truth came in all these different languages before this time. And you brought up something about Abraham, the father of religion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whose father? The father of the Arabs and the father of the Jews and the Hebrews.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And it's not so much so the father of the Aryan, Indo-Aryan Jews, but the father of the Hebrew Jews, and then those Indo-Aryans who mix with the Hebrew Jews. You know, the dark-skinned Jews. He was their father. You understand? And they are his progeny. But see, there were people before Abraham that had the truth. You know? And if Abraham knew him, Abraham would have drew from them. But the beauty of Abraham is that Allah came directly to him. At last. Right. Allah came to him. You know? And he was able to you know, reason it.
But I guess that the Lord Ahezaah came to him by the simplicity of his pure heart. Simplicity of his sincerity of his search. The sincerity of his
He
search.
said, whatever have been raptured or captured, I hear this message is, it is funny that, you know, upon listen to the story, the relating stories, but, you know, they said that this message that Allah sent down from the beginning of Adam up to now, to this message here, Holy Apostle, and between the lines of books that Allah sent down, is of the same message. But what people had a problem because, like you said, language is a main factor in keeping people separate. But if they ever get a chance to let Allah read this book, and I know Muslims all say they uphold the Quran, but how many will you ever hear them say that Ahezaah have read the book to them? Because they all have tried to go into the book with this, and with their understanding. Yeah. And then you relate, like I said, sitting back, I opened up this morning, it took me to chapter 92, the night. I said, oh, wow, look at this. And I had my son, we were up, and because at the time we were up, it was about 4'5". And the first thing I asked him, I said, what do you feel in the house? They said, I said, don't you feel the peace? They was like, yes. I said, everything's calm. They was like, yeah, it's peaceful. And then Ahezaah called us to read. You know, he has a lot of God blesses with his understanding and read to us, you know. But making it simple, because we can complicate all the way along, you know. They add all these interjections and footnotes at the bottom of the book, and then have you start trying to read what they mean by this verse or that verse, and then no, Allah, you the author, the creator, grant me your understanding, grant me your insight, and then bless me to live and light upon what you've given here. But no one ever likes to make that connection because they don't think that book is that's Muhammad and them in that time. But the book is just as clear now in 2010 than it was in 1400 and whatever Allah 570 with Allah Muhammad received the Quran.
That's if Allah make it clear for you. Yeah. You know, but the thing about it is like when we were coming up, say like 30, 40 years ago, we were blessed to have only the transliteration at the bottom to throw out.
Okay.
Now they have mixed books inside the writing. I mean, you reading Hadith and thinking you read Quran, and then they giving this stuff out to new believers who don't know anything about the truth. And they reading that stuff, and they thinking they getting Allah's words, and they getting all this stuff from these people who trying to form them as soldiers for their nations and for their cause, you know. And those the ones come out and fight us. Yeah. And say, Astaghfirullah, you don't know what you're talking about. Allah said this, Allah say that. When Allah said to me that it has cursed the Muslims of the day, they have lost the grace of Allah. They have lost the beauty of Allah. And they have lost what it had gave them of spirit to uphold the Holy Quran. It is no longer placed in their possession. See, Ahezaah is the name of the Lord today, and it supersedes Allah's name. It's name of Allah.
Right.
Oh, it's still the same Lord.
Right.
It's still the same power. It's still the same infinite being.
That's right.
It chose to change his name. Now, all you Muslims and Christians and Jews and Hebrews who you know the book, you know Allah said it was going to do this in this day and time. You know that it said in the day of Revelation, and you know by not just the holy prophets, you know by prophets whom Allah enlightened among the common men like Nostradamus about this day and time. That the Lord said it would send this man with its new name. Huh? And Allah has a right to change his name, like I was saying earlier, about it being a timely change because of what the people have done. Allah make new the path for people. He has shown signs of his mercy for people. With us thinking, you know, I remember some elderly women talked to me some 10, 15 years, about 15 years ago or so, or maybe even more, and said to me, that Islam is about robbing banks. And I said, whoa, where'd she get that from? And every time I looked in the papers, Muslims was robbing banks. Abdur Rahman robbing the bank. Shakur Allah robbing the banks. And then they all saying that they Muslims and they believers. And then the devil took his opportunity. Right. You see that Islam? You see what they do for you in Islam? Jesus is the way. Huh?
And in that same time, you can take that same thing and turn it around and say, Christianity, didn't they fight crusades in this time?
Yeah, but what individual in Christianity is studying the truth about Christianity? Who amongst the people really know how the Muslims and the Christians got together and formed the Masons and start killing people all over the world for artifacts and power? Who know that the assassin came from the hashish smokers among the Muslims who shared that hashish with the Christians from Europe?
That's right.
And they become one clan.
Secret order.
The order of the saints and what have you.
That's them.
You understand? What do they know about the history?
Knights Templars and all those things.
Yes. I meant to say the Knights, not the Saints, because they got so many false.
I know.
I think they just made this other pope who died the same, right?
They did. Yeah, they did. You know.
His mind probably in hell saying, please, no more. I'm an ain't, not a saint.
Yeah, you know. But this is the time that Ahezaah manifesting that, you know, that it say will come down in an hour a day in truth.
Yeah, our people got to recognize it, Dries. You know, we've been getting all these complications of religion, and things are simple. How many people know that Christ is Allah? You know what I'm saying? I feel for the people in Christianity and in Islam.
Oh, yeah.
You know, some force of evil came against them. Jesus and Muhammad would never fight.
Never.
You know what I'm saying? But here it is, they didn't let the politicians and them crazy clergymen put worlds of people against one another, to kill one another and to curse one another and to take land. How could you follow a people and believe in a people that then came into this nation for our people?
Yeah.
It just massacred nations of Native Americans, indigenous people, and took the land. It's still the same people, same genes, same mindset. And now they want to police the world. And because we got a few that can mix with the Native Americans and the Afro-Americans, and they got in their heart some sorrow for what is going down, and it comes out, we want to trust them all and let them continue on. You know, it's really rough when you got leaders amongst our people whom they have appointed to keep us blind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The same orders early missionaries back in the.
Let me tell you something. Those people, those leaders, every one of them got signs of the devil on them. But the thing about it is, it's for you to see it. And you're not going to see it if you're not looking through the eyes of the Lord. If the Lord don't show it to you, you're not going to see it. You know? But I'm not here to go out and on my way to start tearing down individuals. But it's for all the people to see for themselves that Allah, that Ahezaah is real. The essence of life, you, is real, not he.
Right.
You. You know?
That changed that one letter from the U to the E.
Right.
Have caused much confusion in the world.
But you know what my question is? How can brothers who study Arabic,
Yeah.
how could they be so quiet about the desecration that the Arabs and the Pakistanis and all those people over in the other world is doing in the translations of the Quran? How could they stand by and allow so many people to go to slaughter, the mental slaughter?
Just what it is.
You understand? With them falsely translating the Bible, I mean the Holy Quran, like they tamper with the Bible, they tampering with the Holy Quran now in the translations. Allah showed me some simple things
Okay.
that was so deep. And it said, tell them this. And I put it out there. Some 15 years ago. Put the challenge out there. You know, you want to say, Astaghfirullah, this man ain't right. All right. Allah said this. It is to be worshipped alone. They killed the man out there in Arizona for saying it.
Yeah. Rashad Khalif. Yeah.
Yes, they killed him because he found it out. But see, the problem with him was he didn't have the protection of Allah.
Right.
And it wasn't his time.
Right.
But he put it out there and they heard it. Said, oh, we got to have this man's head. How you going to say Allah alone? Muhammad is to be worshipped. Oh, that was the thing. I said it would come back to me.
That's what you said, right.
Them suckers in the masjids, they got this book out. I forget, I wish I had the name of that damn book. Saying that Allah praised Muhammad. Allah praises Muhammad. How perverted can you get?
No,
Let me just say this here so the people understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. Ahezaah is the power, the reality of everything. Nothing exists without it. Nothing moves without it. Nothing bees without it. Anything Muhammad did was Allah doing it through him. Why would Allah praise that servant that is completely in need of it? That will be nothing without it. In other words, Allah praised itself. But it's the devil want to throw that complication and that confusion up on you saying Allah praised Muhammad. But see, let me just say to you brothers who believe that stuff, you along with the writers of that book, Allah is waiting for you. Huh? Allah is waiting for you. You gonna die and you gonna find out that your mind is still alive. And you're going to have the same feelings in your sensory perceptive mind that you have in this physical body. Oh yeah, you're going to leave this body behind, but you're going to still feel the hands, the heart, huh? The eyes. You still going to feel all those things. And Allah is waiting for you. It's going to have your tail, just like a lot of the brothers who led you have gone on. They can't come back and tell you. Huh? It takes somebody like me, those who know who have near-death experiences, who are truly enlightened, who really know, they can tell you Allah's going to get you. But see, the life after this life is more real than this life. Allah going to get you. Allah praised Muhammad. And Muhammad himself said, Allah is the only one alone who is due praise. And they turn around and assault the Holy Quran and assault the Prophet and change the diacritical marks on his name to make it mean he is one worthy of praise. When his name, Muhammad, meant one who praises much. But nobody praised Allah more than Muhammad in his time. So he was one who praised much. Now you're going to say he was one worthy of praise, but he told you he wasn't the author, the power, the creator. He wasn't doing any credit for anything he did. And you're going to turn around and say that he is to be praised by Allah. Now I'll say your word, Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah.
Turn the book around, the opening of the book. All praises
due to Allah.
They just do that first, just as
but think about the perverted minds of the brothers in the United States of America that's listening to that being used by them, man, and abused by them. And they walk around here with the Arabs or the foreigners walk around with their chests out like they own something. Brothers just worshiping them. Oh, you can't. You talk about the Arabs. Oh, astaghfirullah, I can't talk to you no more. Messing with my God.
That's right.
Sad, man. Sad. It's a sad state of affairs, but Allah is here to destroy them today. You know, Allah is destroying the world. You better wake up. On all corners of the world, Allah is destroying the world. We have not had there's so many catastrophes in the world. On all different levels, as we have today. You know, I feel for the people in the world, but hey, I'm the messenger of Allah, and that's Allah's doing. You can curse Allah if you want to. Curse the angels. They are appointed to tear this world up, and everything is in order. The earth been turned off its axis just like it said it would do. Right. And hey, everything is in its order. Hey, the Sahara Desert used to be an ocean.
That's right.
The earth was turned off its axis, and look what it became. So what's in store for this world? Today, the earth is turned off its axis again. We got to have the catastrophes on earth. Because everything is different.
Well, you got the mudslides in California, you got freezing.
We got everything.
In the south.
We got everything going off. The first thing I noticed was all of a sudden, Tornado Alley had turned towards New York.
That's right.
Towards us. Things are different, man. We have little tornadoes dropping down in our communities and don't even know about it. You know?
The weathermen don't know that they're tornadoes, not the ones up here anyway.
Oh, they know. Yeah. They know, but they know they can't predict. Because their predictions is all messed up. You know?
That's what the greater side of the show, that they call a thing, then it don't happen, you know. And then you turn around and try to explain it away later on.
Hey.
Oh, this was, right. No, they ain't changed.
I still remember that time when that bad storm had came over here and it made an eye around this area in New Jersey, and we didn't feel nothing. But it was tearing everything up on the side, on all sides of us, including New York on the east.
That's right.
And I'm like, man, look at this. And then they showed how the weather was going. Nobody said, how does that happen? It's like a bubble around us. They can't mention it. Somebody said, don't say nothing about that.
Yeah.
But there was signs for us to see. Ahezaah has power over everything, man.
One did mention it though. Kylie Thomas.
Her
career. Yeah. She might be doing the news in Alaska, right? You know,
there's the signs and everything, even in what man he's made in his creation. I remember we had a blackout, a major blackout in the northeast area, from Canada all the way
I remember. Oh yeah.
And looking at a newspaper account, and we knew that in this particular area, there was still lights in every area, you know, whereas all around, there was blackouts all around. You looked in the newspaper, and you could see the sea of black taken from a helicopter shot, except for this one spot of light.
Where the agents are. The same ones where them phone calls be coming.
Right.
And you can't never get back to that phone. Where's this at? Oh, man, that's coming from that area over there. That's the government agents, yeah. They on a different system, man. They're on a different system. New York.
Oh, yeah.
They think they're going to escape the system of returning to the Lord of all worlds. They're not going to escape that. But you were pointing out that the consciousness and how there are people that are afraid of the concept of death, losing their consciousness.
Oh, okay.
But it also occurred that there are people that are even more deathly afraid of not losing their consciousness.
Well, they propagate that after you die, that's it. And that's what they really wish. You know, like I could just go to sleep and that's it.
Yeah.
Man, let me tell you something. It's going to be worse than a nightmare. Worse than a nightmare. What Allah said, what the Lord El said in his holy books about your limbs bearing witness against you, all those things. See, the Lord don't lie. It must be because it said it's going to be, so it's going to show you how it is. You understand what I'm saying? Just like the people got wishful thinking about what's going on in the world today. You know, with all this destruction. Hey, I'm not here saying, oh, good, it's happening on the messenger. I'm feeling like I said years ago, I hope I don't be here when this stuff happens, right? When the Lord starts sending things down, You know, in the early 90s, I was like, oh Lord, man, Allah said this, that, and the other. I don't want to be here when it's happening. It's happening now.
I used to get your prophecy, you know, that partially, you know, I used to show the signs and see the signs of it when they spoke about you be stepping over decaying bodies.
Yeah.
Different things,
yeah.
different different situations happen where people have literally
It's happening now.
That's what I'm talking about.
It happened in the East when the tsunami hit. It's going to be happening in the United States of America.
You know,
the people of the world need one another right now, don't they? They need to help one another right now.
Yeah.
Because they don't know when their turn going to come. Huh?
Yeah.
We in trouble, man, and it's a scary thing if you have any realization about what's going down. But how high can you get? You understand? How intoxicated can you get to get into a world of illusion and stay in that world of illusion and just party, and your mind is gone thinking that the Lord ain't paying no attention to you. You know what I'm saying?
Like any high, they're going to have to eventually come down. You know?
You got the devil standing up on the pulpit saying, the Lord is the one. The devil up there. The Lord is the one. And people going and giving their tips to the devil. Huh?
Yeah.
Anybody can come to my church. All sinners are welcome. All sinners. I'm like, please, sinners, don't fill up here. Try to get rid of your sin. I don't want all the sinners here. I want all the clean people, all the righteous people, all the people who got righteous minds. That's why I'm working so hard to clean them up. Huh? They out of their minds, man. You know?
And because everything has been turned backwards, you know.
Yeah, man.
Evil has become the
But
good
see,
order of the day.
Yeah, and they try to make like the priests and all the clergy, they so holier than thou, and Jesus was so holier than thou. And I beg to differ, man. I beg to differ. Every man of the Lord Most High is a warrior, a fighter. Abraham was a fighter. He had to fight against all that stuff that he was going through. Huh?
Oh, yeah.
They all were fighters, man.
The priests and the clergy or anything, the manipulators of
They
complication.
great manipulators.
Yes. They're one of the highest educated people in the colleges.
Yes.
People are PhDs and all those high degrees in the clergy, you know.
Yes.
The masters, the so-called masters of complication. That they get involved in telling you how to go all around the corner just to get to a point. From point A to point B. They're going to take you to the alphabet first. Skip over B. Skip over B. Yeah.
Matter of fact, they go from A to Z backwards. A, Z, Y, X.
That explains it. Yes. So,
Man.
The simplicity of being sincere. It's you and your Lord. It's your Lord being manifested as you.
Yeah.
And finding that.
But here again, Ahezaah made things so simple, like you said. You know, I mean, the strength of the Lord is on your tongue and in your heart. All you got to do is have a sincere heart and beg the Lord with your tongue. But see, people get into this thing where they want to beg the Lord to make them great, to make them the thing to be worshipped, so to speak, without saying, make me the one to be worshipped. You know? When the devil got the masses of the people just freaked out. You know, your greatest prayer would be, oh Allah, take all this from me and put it in your hands. Don't leave me in charge of myself. Please. And don't let me fall for the praise that people want to give to me for what you do through me. Let me see that you doing it through me. Please keep me reminded that it's you who doing it. So many people, as soon as they get something, see what I did?
Great eye.
The great eye.
Great eye, yeah.
They separate themselves from Allah. And then when they get in trouble for it, oh Allah, have mercy on me. Surely you most merciful. Please have mercy on me. I didn't mean to do it. Putting on an act. But Allah make it so clear and so simple. Religion is so clear and so simple, so easy. But so complicated when you reject. You know? And another thing I was writing today, and maybe I was writing this yesterday. I got 10 days this morning, a couple hours. Ahezaah was talking about how it makes things so simple for those who are sincere seekers.
Right.
Open the way and guide them, and do the opposite for those who reject faith.
Yeah.
Let them try to attain what they're seeking. And it caused people to suffer by wanting more of what they can't get, or suffer by getting too much of what they want. Huh? And have no harmony, no balance.
Our accused are given how much money for
All my for a day of peace.
Well, we
That's
hold
it.
that thought, man. Praise be to our ears.
Who of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed?